I just hung a reflector on my hair light stand. Hello world, my name is Matt Spaugh and I'm a photographer and videographer in Atlanta, Georgia, and obviously it doesn't take much to make my day. A lot of people have talked lately and asked me and offered opinions about whether or not you should work for free. I've been doing this for a very long time, and over that period of time I've come up with some pretty firm ideas about when to work for free and when not to, and hopefully by sharing this it'll help some other people out who are still trying to figure that out. So what do I think about working for free? I think working for free is an absolute necessity in certain situations. When I made the transition from graphic designer and headshot photographer more into videographer and video producer, I needed to do jobs. I needed to go out in the field with cameras and set them up and turn them on and make lots of mistakes and learn lots of things. And so I would work for free. But I only worked for free, and this is kind of the general rule here, I only worked for free for people who I offer to work for free for. Case in point, my wife and I have some massive oak trees on our residential property, and this past year we hired a new tree service to come in and clean out the dead wood and open up the canopy and keep the balance right and all that kind of stuff. The company we hired was called Gill Tree Care. Brendan Gill owns it, and if you need any tree work done in the Atlanta area, I highly recommend him. This is not an ad for Brendan, but I would make an ad for Brendan. And as a matter of fact, I did make an ad for Brendan, because I called him 2 or 3 days later and I said, Brendan, I've never shot any footage of guys jumping around in trees like your guys jump around in trees, and I'd like to do that, and I'd like to put that footage together in a video, maybe a 15-second and a 30-second for you to have for free. And he was totally cool with that, which was nice because sometimes people may not want you coming onto their job site and interrupting, but in this case, he did. It all worked out well. I went out, I shot footage for about 8 hours, and not only did I get tripod footage, but I got gimbal footage, and I got handheld footage, and I got a lot of drone footage, and the whole thing worked out really well. I put it all together, sent it to him. He called me a few days later, made a few changes, but then ordered 2 more videos. So this like blossomed and ballooned in ways I never thought it would, because now I got additional work from it and built a relationship with somebody who I think is pretty cool. So obviously the whole thing made me very happy. So that was a great experience. It's not always going to be that way, but that's the kind of situation where you want to work for free. You want to be able to do all of those things that you maybe couldn't do on a paying job. Because Brendan's not directing this shoot because he's got no money in it. I could do whatever I wanted to while I'm out there. The times when I will not work for free is if someone approaches me asking me to work for free. In my experience, when someone approaches you and asks you to work for free, that's just like a major red flag for me of somebody that I probably don't want to work for, particularly if it's not someone that I already know. So if a total stranger approaches me, asks me to work for free, no. Just no. If it's somebody that I know, chances are I still won't do it, because they need to value what you're doing. And now if they're offering you exposure and all that kind of stuff, you know, you may want to try it. I'm just telling you, in my experience, those things have always been nightmares. There's the old adage about the $500 client being just a nightmare, miserable thing to do, and the $50,000 client is a piece of cake. I can tell you that when someone comes to you and they respect your knowledge, your creativity, the amount of money you have sunk in equipment, and the amount of time that you have in learning how to use all that equipment, and then the time that it takes to edit and for pre-production and all that kind of stuff. When somebody comes to you with some kind of general idea of the worth of that, they're not going to ask you to work for free. If somebody calls you looking for a freebie, chances are you're going to be better off saying no. 2 things to mention as I wrap this up. Everything that I've talked about so far has been with regard to growing your business or building your personal brand or you know, just getting better at what you do. If you want to donate your time and talent to an individual or an organization that you feel strongly about, I would say that's almost always a good idea. The one thing that you want to do, and this kind of relates back to what I've already said, is make sure that there are some boundaries in place. Make sure that you and whoever you're donating the stuff to understands the scope of what you're going to do so that people don't end up with unreal expectations on the end of things that can cause stuff to get kind of squirrely. The last thing I'll say is that for me personally, there is a temptation when I'm working for free to not work maybe as hard as I normally would if I was getting paid. This is a terrible thing to do. You have this opportunity to stretch out, to try different setups, different lenses, different lighting, different audio approaches, anything. You have this opportunity where you have a customer but not a director. Don't waste it. Work as hard as you can and do the absolute best work you can all the time. I'll leave you with this quote from a famous 20th century urban poet and cultural commentator. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.